Hi-ho, Victoria 3 fans! Dean Webb here, ready to talk about the new additions to the mod list. Now, I still recommend that you go see my 186 mod list because it goes through a lot of other mods that I've got on here. I'm going to talk about the differences. Number one being that on the channel, now the pinned files are all at the top, and the other ones come afterward. The first change I made was to insert community mod framework here at number 2. This mod is, well, let's take a look at it. This mod is one that allows other modders to work together on mods. If they participate in this framework, it makes it easier for mods to come together and not have to worry about overlap issues. It makes them play nice. I like that. Right now, the Hail Columbia and the Greece Byzantium Balkan flavor mods are both using this. So I load it first. I load both of those. It's fantastic. Other modders are going to be adding this to their work. So expect this in the future here. Have it loaded early. All right, let's keep going. All these are still the same here. We'll scroll down until we see a difference here. There's a lot of the similar ones here. Keep going. Here we are. Okay. I've got Kuromi's AI still. That worked. I was testing out different things, and that's fine. But trade rework, I got rid of. Because trade rework made so you could have too much trade in the game. Too much trade I define as the AI going insane with it and creating these trade circles with thousands and thousands of things going on. It was just, it made things too easy to get messy. So I got rid of that. But I am keeping, let's see here, the tax department for Great Revision series. We found how to fix it. Just load it ahead of the political and economic changes mod. I went ahead and loaded it in advance of Hail Columbia and Greece, Byzantium, and Balkans flavor, which I've added back. It's got a new version. It's got some great stuff in it. Let's do that. But yeah, this one here, the tax department will now work with PEC if it loads first. And there are some people who have asked for a video on that, so I'll go ahead and work through it and show some usage of that in my future videos here. Industry realism, PEC, yada yada, recruit 5 commanders, ban peasant dividend, all this is stuff I've had before. This one here, production and trade. And I note new version for 2025 coming soon. I'm working with the mod author Sasko on some improvements. And I'm going to show what those improvements look like after I run through this list. It's really cool. Like, and we're going to put that together in very soon at the top of the year. But yeah, we keep going. I've added in more icons for different orders. I can't remember if I had that in the last one. I think I did. Yes, I did. Okay. We're getting now to where I've added some new ones. Okay. Auto apply PMs and auto apply automation PMs. Let's have a look at those. I'll go back to my browser window. And let's see here. We want this one. Auto apply PMs. This will do as advertised. Now, in order to make it work, you have to turn on the options at the beginning of the game. Now, the AI is already doing this. This is for you, the player. What will happen is you've got some decisions, and one of those is to activate auto apply PMs. You have another decision to apply to do auto apply automation PMs. What will happen then is it then creates a journal entry. It'll be starred, and you'll see you have 72 choices with this and 8 choices with the other one. Again, you can, by default, all of them are turned off. So you can go and turn on the ones you want to turn on. With auto apply PMs, there's one option at the very top to go quickly or not go quickly. I've tried it either way. It works. If you go quickly, it'll try to push these through as fast as it can. If you don't have it checked, then you will see more gradual changes over. I think for me, having the gradual changes feels more historical, even though I may be in a bit of a rush. But I'm still able to do the changes on my own. So if I think that the auto application is not happening, I could go ahead and just push some buttons and make it go. But if I let it go naturally, it'll just go naturally. And it may not be upgrading because I don't have enough of a particular good. I go make that good and then the upgrades happen. It's really nice. For the production methods, this will be things where, like if you need more explosives or you need more coal or you need more engines, instead of guessing at it on your own, the AI will now help you turn it on a little bit at a time. It'll start with your smaller factories or smaller production areas and move up to the larger ones. It works really well. I've done this several times and I'm really happy with it. Same thing on the automation PMs. This could apply for railroad, for automation, for the water boiler, to the rotary valve engine, all that stuff there. It will work its way through. And again, it won't apply them if you're going to run the business at a loss. It will upgrade if it's going to be profitable. So I turn these on. I research and I keep my hands off my industry. I get to click on it periodically to look and see how it's going along, how it's modernizing, but I don't touch it. I don't go click, 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 and hope and pray that I've got enough of the stuff. These auto-apply. They're made by ZZZWWW. Fantastic mods. I really encourage them. They are very good things to have. And that is why they are on my mod list. We keep going here. Power blocks expanded. And I know you see add war goals and you're going, oh my goodness. All right. Let's talk about those two. The power blocks expanded. This is from Kate the Sybil, who has given some really good mods previously. This is insane stuff, man. First of all, the power blocks can have up to 8 slots, but Kate the Sybil has also added many more different policies that will help really get some good stuff out of this. So instead of saying, well, I only have 4 choices, one of them has to be this or that, and then the other 3, well, that, and that. That's what I want. That's what I'm taking. You're done. You've got 8 choices, and you've got a lot more that are in the primary groups. So when you're choosing your primary group, it's not just this or this. You've got several to choose from, and several kinds, and these are essentially locked out to people who do not have that particular type of power block. So it makes choosing different power blocks more effective and gives you more reason to go into those. It doesn't mean, or it means that the trade block is no longer the optimal one. I may still keep doing it because I'm in the habit now, but these look really cool. I saw one game where the USA formed a religious power block, and I was like, what? And then I saw the things that it was choosing, like, oh my gosh, those make a lot of sense. If you're a religious power block, those are really good ones. And like, uh-oh. Now that also means that they're going to get a little fun. Totally different history there, potentially, but it's really fun to work with. I like power blocks expanded. Next stop, yes, add war goals during wars. Oh, it's so good. And the AI uses it too. Okay, here's the situation. There's a revolution in one of your protectorates, and the proletarian revolt is fighting against the established government, and you're dragged in because you run the power block, you're there, and you can't add any war goals because it's a revolution war. And then one of your rivals joins the revolutionary side. Now, let's say it's like 2 armies against 3 armies. It's a really tiny place having the revolution, but you've got your 1,000 armies and your rival has got their 800 armies, and you're going to have this massive clash all around the world because of the Schleswig proletarian revolt. Well, go, no more. This allows both sides to add war goals during wars. Yes, it's more infamy. It's like, but if like that son of a came into your war, like I was going to handle it, and then you missed it, and I'm going to pow, make them suffer. It was so cool watching this revolt happening in East India Company, and then one of the participants decided, like, since Hyderabad joined in on the East India Company side, the revolting part added war reparations against Hyderabad. Like, make them suffer. Yes. This is good to see. Now, one catch with this is you definitely want to have an infamy management mod. I've got one that I'm using here because the AI will go kaboom with this thing. There was one war, it was between France and Prussia. Started off just over a few states, but France just got madder and madder, and it just added, it wanted Rhineland, Rhineland, North Rhine, the whole thing there, the East Rhineland, the Westphalia. It was getting all kinds of stuff, and it had infamy over 100. I'm like, wow. I have never seen the AI go like that this early in the game. It was the 1850s, and France was like pegging it on the infamy. Did not care. Like, whoa, that's cool. So add war goals during wars. Yes, it works. It's fantastic. I love this one. Love it. Okay, now I've got two more here. One that I am using, Swift Reform, and the other one that I'm not using, Unbuild Stockpile Economy. Let me talk about each one here. Let's go back to the old Windaroonie. Swift Reform I use. This is a cheat. Yes, I agree. The other cheat mod that I had that was pretty flaky and unstable, it started to not work at all. So I don't know if I needed to reload, reboot, or whatever. I just dropped it. But this guy, you can turn it off and on in the middle of a game. You just load it, and when you think you need to pass a law, you turn it on. You go to your decisions, and it's, let's take a look at it here. Let's just, we got the game paused. Let's go ahead and, there we go. I'll play as England here. If we go to the journal, we have this here. It says, Enable Hackerman. Okay, you turn this on, and it will give a huge boost on interest group approval, legitimacy, enactment time, and enactment success chance. It will essentially slam dunk the legislation. I found this because I wanted to test the free market impact on trade and stuff. You may have seen in the earlier video. And I needed to make sure free market passed. This got it to pass almost all the time, every time. It's not 100% guaranteed, but it's real close to it. And then when you're done with it, you just click it again. Like I say, I enabled it, and then I click it again, and it'll say Disable Hackerman. And then once it's disabled, it's back to normal. You don't worry about it. Now, I'm in observer mode, so it's not going to catch it or anything. But it's a very nice thing to do if you think the law needs to pass. Just, that's all it is. You sometimes I look at it not as a cheat, but as an impromptu mod. Like, oh yeah, historically this is going to happen, so just make it go. Anyway, that one is really good. Now the one about Anbeld's stockpile economy, this works. However, at every step of the way, it does say that it will. Every one of these here does say it will have an impact on your CPU. It will have an impact on performance. That being said, if you are ready to impact your performance somewhat, if you think you can handle it, go for it. The default is for military goods and certain critical raw materials. You can have it set to do more than that, but the default is just the military goods and the critical raw materials. Why? Well, because most of the time your military industries are running at a low capacity during peacetime, and then when war hits, they've got to ramp up. But in the time it takes for them to ramp up, and the time that they are ramped up, your troops are mobilizing and they need to have lots of goods. So this stockpile can be up to a year's supply of a particular good. It will buy the good when it's cheap, and it will sell it off when the stockpile's full and there's plenty, there's a lot of money involved in there. You can change parameters on it. It's very flexible. I would say that there's somewhat of a learning curve with it. but it's also really cool to do. We'll see if Paradox itself implements something like this or a different way. But for right now, if you need a stockpile and you're just sick and tired of not having it, this is a really good mod to have. I'm leaving it disabled because I don't know yet if the hit on performance is worth what I'm getting out of it, but I'm still testing it. And I want to put this out there because if you are thinking, oh, no, I need the stockpile, I don't care what it does, well, then do it. And you may find that it's not all that much at all on your machine. Your mileage may vary. So enjoy. All right, so those are the mods that I got and why I've changed them. And now I want to talk about what the change that I see coming to the Grand Revision, the production and trade, because I'm helping to write it. Okay, if I go here to home counties in Britain, and I scroll down, I look over all the buildings, and I see this one here that says Building TGR Boost. Who didn't write localization text for this? Oh, that would be me. It's work in progress. This is a beta. You can't download this mod yet. We're work in progress. But here's what it does. It is a building that has a huge, like 50,000 priority, same as a canal, to tell the AI, build this first. Just do it. We were considering having an event that would just spawn it automatically. That may still be something, but for right now, since I don't know how to write events, it just automatically makes this stuff. Because it only needs 100 workers and no input goods, this is essentially the same thing as desperately poor peasants wandering the countryside, scraping iron or sulfur or lead or coal off the surface and bringing it in. It's recycling. It's just 10 units of each. And it can only be built in a capital. Okay. So that means Great Britain is boosted by 10 of each of these at the start of the game. And you're going, Great Britain's already got plenty of stuff. What difference does it make? I'll get to that. If we look at a country like Burundi, and take a look at the Burundi market, we're going to see, they've got 10 of each of those. And in the case of coal, it's enough to meet their population needs. They're not going to be freezing in the middle of the night because nobody has made any coal and they don't have a trade deal with anybody for coal and they're losing their mind because they don't have coal. No. They've got it. Their traditional methods will provide a small traditional amount of a traditional good. It's simple. It's easy. This is, and you can see how it's colored in. This is showing all the production. Everyone that's this color here, this light yellow, means that they've got 10 of those units. They built that little boost building, and they've got some small amount of coal for their economy. Even the Indian Territory's got it. And you're going, but wait, Indian Territory, they're part of the American trade group. Yeah, and same thing happens in India. Oh my gosh, that's a lot of coal for the British trade zone. Is it though? Because if we take a look at the British market, they're making how much coal right now? 6,000 and change, and 400 of that, yes, is coming from these little buildings that it has all over its empire. It's got all these, obviously it's got 40 members of its little country club. This is going to happen. And yes, if some of them get taken over by others and get absorbed, the buildings stay around. Can't help you there. But at the beginning of the game, this is a much needed boost, especially with iron. Because if we look at the iron production here, and again, we see that we've got, that little wash there, but we look back up here at Europe and Canada and America, and we see there's some darker green. And if I zoom in on England, like, oh my gosh, 1725 here? I remember looking at this before with just trying with all these other methods, and it would be like around this, later in the game, and it's only 200, 300. And there's always these shortages, and the shortages are by thousands. Now the shortages are by hundreds. In England, it's 213. In the Prussian market, 455. In the French market, 762. It's not in the thousands. In Sweden, 312. But look at what they're making here. They're moving a lot of this stuff out. Whoops, sorry, scrolled the wrong one there. 585 going to France. And I've seen other ones where around this time or soon after, Austria is putting lots of iron production in Bohemia. Saxony emerged as the number 8 producer. And I thought this is great to see. In fact, I should be able to see who's producing what. Yeah, we look at this. Number 1, Great Britain, United States, Austria, Prussia, Russia, Sweden, Belgium, France, Dutch East Indies, and Egypt. Oh, yeah, that's another one. Okay, yeah, I mean, East Indies, Egypt, what? But wait a minute. Egypt is making more than just the little 10 that come out of that one building. By putting this building in, for some reason, it causes the AI to decide, oh, I need more of this stuff. It's importing less and building more. It's working to fill out the needs of its home economy. I'm thrilled with this. As I mentioned in other games, I've seen like Saxony come up in here, and other nations make it into the top 10 that were small, but they had really good iron deposits. Or same for coal, same for other of these raw materials. And with this availability of this particular good, it means there's more iron for building. Instead of hitting a big red box that says we don't have enough of this and there's a shortage and construction shuts down and all the construction lines are paused, this one here, it's cooking along nicely. We're using a good amount of construction there. If I take a look at France, they're doing that's their 160 out of 160. It's all in the private sector, but it's going. If I go to Prussia, yeah, they're using their economy. They're using it as well. Austria, they've got good capacity. What about Russia? They were having a horrible time without iron. With iron, well, let's take a look at how they're doing in the Russian market. Again, they're the number 5 producer. They're importing 200, making 600. They've got these from Russia and its little satellites. And yeah, they're exporting some, but now they've got so much that they're not getting a huge shortage. It's expensive, but it's not a massive shortage, and they can support an iron-based construction sector. This means Russia makes more stuff, it builds more. If we look at the economy here, let's just take a look at the economy here. All right, world GDP, it's 1846, and we're already at 457 million. That is really, after just 10 years, it's grown that much. And England, well, they're number 2, but they're doing quite well. Everybody is doing much better because we've got enough iron at the beginning of the game, as well as coal. Sulfur and lead we didn't really need as much, but it's nice to have them when they're there because there's so many places that don't even have sulfur. And again, this one little building that I made represents just traditional, very inefficient production methods, but it's just enough to keep things going, to seed the global economy to where it really blossoms on its own. I think it's fantastic. This is like the second or third time I've played through it with this. Now, I did some other playthroughs where I tried a smaller employment group, like only 50 instead of 100 laborers. That doesn't work. They don't work. You need at least 100 to fill a building. Then I tried it with 5 instead of 10 of each unit. And the results were they were much closer to other runs that I've done where nations are still importing a lot. They're not really building a lot. Having only 5, it just didn't do enough. Doing 10 though, it gets production jump started, and it gets the AI to actually build to its capacity. It gets the AI to really work it on production. And that means as a player, if I'm in a smaller country, I don't have to worry about being in somebody else's trade block or conquering this or that just so I can get my own supply of this. It means there's going to be enough stuff in the world. So it definitely works. And I want to thank people who made comments both on my Discord as well as on a previous video I did that said if you have, just putting in one building in certain areas can get things jump started. You don't need a corporation to do it. You just need one building that makes that good, and the rest of it takes off. This is fantastic. If I take a look here at Sardinia, Piedmont, I think we can show what happens here. Oh, no, they've got that. Okay, so, well, now I'm stumped here because I thought that they would have built that building here, but apparently they did not. Okay, so, but they did take over here at Piedmonte and Amelia. There was Modena had built one, so when they took it over, they inherited it. And again, it's not that much. I mean, if you look in the grander scheme of things, a few hundred or even a few thousand, because if you have 255 countries, you'll have about 2,500 extra units of each of these in the early game. That gets the economy moving. And by the end of the game, when you need 10,000 of something, that 2,000 spread around the world isn't really going to be a huge impact, given how much more you have to make. And the fact that it gets these nations to make that more, I think is fantastic. I think that maybe having more iron might make it where, I don't know, I haven't played it all the way through to see if Brazil will start building rubber plantations on its own. We'll see there. And if not, then I just need to come up with another building that addresses that and another building that addresses oil production. Or maybe the same one. We'll see. But the point is that if we have these little buildings, it gets production jump started. So that's coming in that mod, and we will get it to where it works. The one caveat I've got there is it seems like the Japanese shogunate never builds it. And I don't know why. Because I was talking with people who play Japan a lot, and they're saying, oh my gosh, if we just had 9 iron at the start of the game, if we just had 9 iron! But if I go over here and it looked like we're playing as Japan, we go to Kansai, and the building is available. The building is available. So if you're a player and you just wish you had 10 iron, just 10 iron, you can do it. You can. Now, they're going bankrupt because the AI doesn't know how to run them. That's a separate situation there. But this is something that is really good. So it seems like fixing trade and production in Victoria 3 is a matter of giving it a boost at the beginning of the game. I hope you've enjoyed this. I'm going to start another run. I want to do Sardinia Piedmont using Sasco's the Great Reform, the Italian unification mod. I want to walk through that because it was a lot of fun. A few times I was doing it, and we had a few things. Oh, you needed accommodate for that, and so he's done some more coding up. But I think it's ready for prime time, and I want to do a Sardinia run where I acquire Italy and go in for Austria and see what I can do with that. Now that we've got enough stuff in the world, I think it'll be quite a fun thing to see. Like, comment, subscribe, keep me in your dreams, pray for my eternal soul, and all that good stuff that goes with being a great YouTube watcher. And we'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.